Hello, this is Scott Rosano with Gigbuilder.com. Our first in our 200 series, 201, will be on documents. And what are documents? Well, first of all, if we go to our home page, you'll see the gig builder that we have built to date. If you don't see something similar to this and you have not gone through the 100 series videos, I would suggest doing that first. So that you were looking with something similar. In the 100 series video, we built all this up. And from here, again, we're going to do documents in this video. So it's tools, system configuration, and documents. Now, what are documents? They can be pretty much anything you want. If you do it in a word processor, you can do it in Gigbuilder. Some people use client receipts, which are very, very popular. Here's a termination of service notice. These are some things that we just gave you as samples to start with. Balance sheet, but you can create anything you want. We're going to go ahead and go into one and go over in detail and then create one ourselves. So let's just open up like a client receipt. Now in this particular section here, we have two basic areas. This is not that confusing to do. The first one is you got to give the document a name. Now you can also give it a different name for a client if your client's going to see this. Now again, when we get into some more videos in this series, we'll be adding your client login to your website, and your clients will be able to start doing things. If you want your client to see this particular document, you would just simply click customer. If you want your employees to see it, you click employee. If you want to see it, it wants to show up in places, you can click that as well. Event prep is kind of interesting. In our events, which you created over the last 5 videos, one option in there that's advanced that you're going to see in this series is called event prep. And when you click that button, it generates all the documents that have event prep set for it. So that you can press one button, print the whole thing out, and take it to your event. So if this is something you need to bring into your event, this document that you're building, you would click event prep. And then, if at all possible, print in landscape on PDF. So that is where you set it up. The message body is where all the action happens. Now your word processor may or may not look like this. Our very next video, 202, will be going over how to use the word processors that are built into Gigbuilder. And this one here, you basically line it up like you would any word processing document. And you may see down here some very interesting things. These little bizarre codes. We call these tokens. And the tokens are what makes the Gigbuilder magic. What a token does, in this particular case here, we have C_F name. That's the client first name and the client last name. Client street, client city, client state, client zip. So when this runs against a client, it's going to pull their name and their address out of their database, is basically how this works. I'll show you how to add those the very second that we build one ourselves. So you build up your document here. And then you go ahead and save, and we're going to go ahead and test it. So if I click test, what test does is it generates a test document. It grabs a random event from your database and plops the data in there so you can see what it looks like. It's kind of nice to have. So that is the document itself and viewing one that exists currently. So we're going to go ahead and close on that. And now we're going to actually create our own document, our new document here. And we'll just call it, say, test document, give it a name. And for the client, if the client's going to view it, I'll just type client test. And then I want to see it, and I want my employee to see it, and I want my customer to see it. So that far we're done here. Now in the document editor, we're just going to write a letter here. So let's just do a dear. And how about the client's first name? This is where the magic happens. If you see this button down here, it's called Insert Token. When you click on that, it brings up a bunch of drop-down boxes that contain just about every field in Gigbuilder. So Event Client tab, let's pull the client first name. I click that, the token's here, I hit Insert Token, and it appears right there in the word processor. Thank you for considering our services. We don't have to take a long time writing this. You could basically write anything you want. Again, the next lesson will be a lot on the word processor. So when we're done with this, we would want to save it first just so that it's inserted into the Gigbuilder system. I can then come down here, find the test document. We will open this document, and inside this document you see everything that we've just created so far, but now we're going to test it. And if you notice during the test, what will happen is that it says, "Dear Sarah, thank you for considering our services," because Sarah is the name of the person on that particular event. So that is basically how you create documents. The next video will give you a lot more information on how to use the word processor to make those documents, emails, and other things that these use a lot easier. So with that, you've already saved it. You can click on the button here where it says Gigbuilder or 65, whatever your number is, and that will always take you to the home page where you're now ready for the next video.